This brings the objectivity and verifiability. Now what happens? The market price is dependent upon the demand and supply. The more people are there to buy that product, obviously the demand will increase, the price will also increase. So as soon as the people are lesser who are demanding the product, that machinery or whatever asset, the price of that asset or commodity will decrease. So we just can't rely on the day-to-day change in the market price of that particular asset. That's why we have to record it at the same actual price at which we had purchased, at which we had acquired that particular machinery or the land. Hello students, I hope all the concepts which we studied in the previous classes, I hope they all are clear to you. Now in today's class we will be studying the next concept, that is the cost concept. Cost concept is basically the historical cost concept. Historical cost concept simply says that all the assets which have been purchased should be recorded and should be kept recorded at the same value at which they were recorded. For example, I purchased a land for rupees 50 lakhs. Now, the land's value obviously keeps on increasing with the day, with the passage of the time. But the books in the accounting books should only record the 50 lakhs only. That is, if this was the cost of the land, and in today's time the market value of the same land has become, suppose, 80 lakhs. This land was purchased on 1st April 2024 and today it is 31st March 2025. In 1 year's time, the land's value has increased from 50 lakhs to 80 lakhs. But then also the value of that land will be shown at the same 50 lakhs itself, because the cost concept says that all the assets, once they are purchased, once the amount has been spent on acquiring on or purchasing of their assets, it should be recorded at that same particular price itself throughout the life of the company. Is that clear? Now, the cost concept requires all the assets to be recorded at the purchase price, making the asset ready to use. Obviously, now what happens? Whenever we purchase the asset, for example, if I want to purchase a machinery, when I purchase a machinery, I have to do lot many things. Now, what is the first thing I do? First, I make the area ready so that the machinery can be installed. Obviously, the first thing which I do is make the area ready for that machinery. So first is the area where the machinery will be installed. Apart from that, obviously the machinery which I am purchasing has to be bought from a different location. I will have to go there, I will order the machinery, then that machinery will be delivered to me at my factory. So the transportation cost is also the part of the cost of machinery itself. So that's what has been written. Making the asset ready to use, there are many expenses which are to be incurred in order to purchase and install the machinery. So what is the first expense? Obviously, the first expense is the acquisition. For example, I am purchasing a machinery for say rupees 10 lakhs. Now, since I am purchasing a machinery for rupees 10 lakhs, so this is the upfront cost. This is the amount which I'll be paying to the supplier of that machinery. Okay. Now, once I have paid the amount to the supplier for that machinery, then that machinery will have to be delivered from the place of the shopkeeper or from the supplier's place to my place. The second expense which I will have to bear is the transportation cost. For example, I paid another 50,000 for the transportation because my machinery is a very huge kind of nature. So I will have to pay the full truck freight in order to get that machinery from a very far area. So next expense that I did was the transportation. Next, apart from that, also a new person will come to my place, a technician will come to my place. He will install the machinery on that area which I had already made it ready for the installation. So he will also charge approximately 10-20,000 for installing that machinery. So this is basically my installation charges. So now, in order to make use of that machinery, in total, I have spent 10 lakhs 70,000. So now the question arises, what is the actual cost of the machinery that will be recorded in the books of accounts? This is the question. So I know you will always say 10 lakhs because that's the price of the machinery that we have paid in order to purchase that machinery. But these two expenses are also the part of that machinery itself. Now just imagine, can you please tell me, without the transportation, can you use that machinery? Obviously, you will have to use machinery in your place. You can't use the machinery at supplier's place. You will have to take the machinery from that place to your place. That is a compulsory part. So all the expenses which are there, which are incurred in order to make the machinery useful, in order to start the machinery, all the expenses are to be added to the cost of the machinery. So now, and again, another question, is it possible that without installing the machinery, can we use it? Obviously, no. So if I ask you now, what is the cost of the machinery? Your answer will be 10,70,000, and that's the correct answer. Is that clear? So all the expenses which we do on the machinery to make that machinery useful, now we can use that machinery for the production purposes, all the expenses need to be added up. Now, if we are purchasing a new machinery, the cost of all the related expenses are to be added up. Okay. Now, these were the three types of expenses. Apart from that, one more expense can be there. For example, if I'm bringing the machinery from supplier's place to my place, might be possible that my truck, the truck in which my machinery is coming, might fall into accident. So this is a highly probable item, highly probable chance that my truck can meet an accident. So that's why I will also need to have the insurance for that. So the insurance premium also which I'm paying in order to make that machinery come from that supplier's place to my place is also the part of such cost only. So all the expenses which I'm doing in order to get that machinery to the use is known as the cost of the machinery. So for the new machinery, all the cost. Now for the old machinery, if suppose I am buying an old machinery, obviously just imagine an old car or an old machinery. So if someone is selling that old machinery or an old car, so he might be not happy with the performance. So we also have to do some repairing work in order to use that machinery. So that has been written that if we are purchasing the old machinery, we have to add the repairing cost as well. Is that clear? Normal repair cost will also be added to the machinery to make the machinery useful, to make the machinery back to work so that we can do the normal production process. Is that okay? Now, so apart from the transportation, installation and insurance, we will also add the repairing charges. That is the one-time repairing charge so that that machinery can be useful, that machinery can come to use. Is that clear? So this was the cost concept. Cost concept simply says that the amount you are spending to acquire the assets, to make the assets useful for the production, all the expenses are to be added up to get the actual cost. And that cost will remain in the books of accounts. It will not be increased or decreased as per the market scenario. It should be recorded and maintained to be recorded at the same actual price. Okay. Now, next, one more thing. In the cost concept, the concept of cost is basically the historical nature. Historical nature, why historical? Because suppose I have purchased a machinery for say rupees 50 lakhs. I have purchased a machinery or a land for rupees say 50 lakhs. This I have purchased on 1st April 2015. Okay. And now this, and today it is 1st April 2024. Today is suppose 1st April 24. It's been 8, 9 to 10 years that my machinery has been with me or the land has been with me and it's working. Is that clear? Now, so in today's value, in today's time, the value of that land has suppose gone up to 60 lakhs. In 10 years, my value of land has increased to 60 lakhs, or else my value of the machinery because of its use is decreased to say suppose 20 lakhs. but then also I will have to record the value of the machinery at the same actual price at which I had made the payment. Is that clear? So that's why cost concept says it is of historical nature. The history in the past years, the amount you have actually spent will be recorded and will be there in your books of accounts till the infinity. Is that clear? Till the day you are selling the product or that machinery. Next, the amount paid at acquisition is the main amount which we will be recording. Apart from that, it will not change year after year. Suppose my land's value increased by 5 lakhs after 1 year, it got increased by 2 lakhs in the next to next year, but then also I will have to record the land's value at the same price at which the amount which I had paid at the time of acquisition. Okay. Next, the purchase price remains same. As I just told you, the market value may change, but we don't have to alter, we don't have to change that price in our books of accounts. Next, this brings the objectivity and verifiability. Now what happens? The market price is dependent upon the demand and supply. The more people are there to buy that product, obviously the demand will increase, the price will also increase. So as soon as the people are lesser who are demanding the product, that machinery or whatever asset, the price of that asset or commodity will decrease. So we just can't rely on the day-to-day change in the market price of that particular asset. That's why we have to record it at the same actual price at which we had purchased, at which we had acquired that particular machinery or the land. Is that okay? Now, so it is easy in the objectivity. We can easily verify it with the amount, with the actual amount we had spent at the time of purchasing of that asset. Next is the market value is not reliable. As I just told you, it depends upon the demand and supply, so it can't be relied upon. Next, due to change in the time to time difficulty in comparison, obviously now because of the changing market value, we can't just compare it with the actual cost of that particular asset. So that's why it has to be recorded at the cost and the amount which we had spent at initially at purchasing the asset. So this was the cost concept. Apart from that, there is a limitation also with this. Now, the limitation is basically it doesn't shows the true worth of that particular land or the asset. Now, if I give you an example, for example, I have a land or else I have a building, whatever it may be. I have a land for rupees say 20 lakhs, and today that land's value has gone up to 30 lakhs. Now, obviously, there is a profit of 10 lakhs. I have gained 10 lakhs out of this land, but then also I will not record this land's value. That is, I will not record the profit which I have earned by increasing the value of this asset. It will remain as it is. So this is a type of a limitation. Why is it a limitation? Because I am hiding 10 lakh rupees as my gain or profit. That has been written. It doesn't shows the true worth. The true worth is 30 lakhs, but we are showing 20 lakhs only. Next, lead to hidden profits. Obviously, now since the price of this has increased to 30 lakhs, I have gained the amount of 10 lakhs, but then also I am hiding the profits. I'm just not recording the profits which I have made out of this land. And during period of rising prices, obviously, since the prices are rising, then also I'm not at all concerned, I'm not at all bothered by to increase the amount of the asset or to decrease the amount of that asset as well. So this was basically the limitation of cost concept. Cost concept simply says, now to summarize, cost concept simply says all the assets are to be recorded at the purchase prices. Now the price will be the amount, the cost will be the sum of all the expenses which we have made in order to make that machinery useful at our place. It can be new or old. If it is an old machinery, we will have to add up the repairs as well. Apart from that, we studied that the purchase price always remains the same. We are not at all concerned with the market price. If it is increasing or decreasing, then also we will keep it constant. We will remain that asset constant in our books of accounts. Apart from that, this is only the limitation for the cost concept, that the hidden profits and the hidden losses are not shown in the books of accounts. So this was the explanation and meaning of cost concept. I hope you must have enjoyed and learned new things in the accountancy. Thank you so much.